Hi everybody, this is Bob from Bob's O Gauge Trains. Well, today's going to be the first of hopefully many more. I'm going to do a tutorial on how I connected TMCC / Legacy to a DCS wired layout, and it really does work. It's very simple to do. When I actually did it, it only took like 5 or 10 minutes. It's very easy, it's not complicated, it's very user-friendly. I'm not the most knowledgeable person about Legacy, but hoping to get there someday. I'm learning. I've just been into it like 4 or 5 months when I picked up the Strasbourg switcher from Lionel with Legacy and Bluetooth. So today we're going to show you how to hook up your TIU to a command base from Lionel using this patch cord, and you'll be able to run your trains with this remote or your cell phone. I know it sounds complicated, but it's actually very easy and very user-friendly. So sit back and enjoy. We're going to show how all this works and how to get it to work on your layout. So I hope you enjoy today's video. We're also going to be running some trains, so you'll see some trains and hopefully learn a thing or two along the way. It's always fun to do. So I hope you enjoy today's video on how we're going to hook TMCC Legacy up to a DCS layout. In order to connect the Lionel TMCC command base to your TIU, you only need a few things. You need some wire and the patch cord that goes from the TIU to the TMCC base. MTH used to sell them. You might be able to still get them from them. If not, they show up on eBay pretty often. It's not really that expensive, so that's the one thing you will actually need. It's kind of like a USB cable. This is exactly the cord that you will need. One end connects to the TMCC base, and the other end does connect to your TIU. They are marked. I don't know if it really makes a difference, but I wouldn't want to try to see if you can reverse them. On one side, you will see how they have it written on the one cord here. You can see they have TMCC put on it. This side you plug into your Lionel command base, and on this side you see that they have TIU. You plug in this one to the TIU. I would not reverse the wires. I would make sure I plug them in the way they're marked. I don't know if it does make a difference, but I'm not willing to try and blow up my electronics, so just be very careful. They are marked TIU and TMCC. Plug the appropriate end into the appropriate appliance that you're using. Now, since it does run off of the ground, if you have a TIU, you have to attach the command base with that cord, and it has a power cord. You just simply plug in an outlet to give it power. But then you also have to connect the ground into the TIU. And it's very, very simple, depending on how many tracks you need to do. If you only have 1 or 2 loops a track, you could do what I did on my TIU. I actually have 4 loops, and you can daisy chain the grounds and run a wire from this ground and daisy chain it to this ground, and then go to this one, and then go to this one. What you do is you attach it to the out port. So there's a variable and fixed in and a out, which means basically from the TIU out to your track. That's where you attach your ground. I'd highly recommend, if you do color code your wires, please make sure that you keep all the same color. I know a lot of times it's easy for guys to run out of wire and you swap out a black for a green or a red for a yellow. with something like this, I'd recommend you use the proper color coding for the wiring just to make sure you don't have any mishaps. But that's all you really have to do, is connect the ground wire, which on your command base is right here. You attach one end of the wire here where it says track, and then you attach the other end of the wire here to the ground. Please be careful, not the positive, to the ground of your TIU. Like I said, if you're only going to use one track designated, that's fine. You could go one wire, but you really don't want, in my case, I have 4 main lines. You really don't want 4 wires going into the command base. So you can daisy chain them. I highly recommend you use solid wire instead of the stranded, because when you try to pull back the plastic, sometimes the stranded wire does break. So if you stick to the solid wire, it's a lot easier to do. And in order to connect it onto your TIU, all you have to do, this end says TIU, so you plug it into your PC where it says PC input, right in there. Then on the other end of the wire here, this one says TMCC, and you simply do exactly the same thing. You plug it into your TMCC base. Very simple to do. Right here is the little plug that goes to the electric socket that you plug into your wall power. And this is the ground wire that I was explaining. You attach one end of the wire here, and the other end of the wire onto your TIU on the output side. And like I said, if you have more than one track, if you have 2 tracks, you can daisy chain from here to here. If you have 1 track, you just need 1. If you have 3 or 4, just for easy, I would recommend just daisy chain the grounds, but be very careful. Do ground to ground to ground to ground. Do not connect a ground to a hot, or you will fry something out. But it's very easy to do. Okay, now that we have everything connected, the TMCC base is connected to the TIU, which likewise goes from the transformer to the track. So everything's all powered up, and I've just opened up the app for the Lion Chief remote on your cell phone. You can download it either through the Play Store or wherever you download apps from on your phone. I have an Android, so I've used the Lion Chief app on my phone. Once you open up the app, this is what you see. Now, of course, we have no connected engines because we're just adding it. So this is the screen that you come to. From there, you hit the button right up here where it says engines. And right there we have one available engine, which is the Strasbourg switcher. So from there you hit it, and it comes up, and you hit the 2 chain links that say connect right there. And there we go. We're connecting to Bluetooth. Now I'm going to show you how to add it to your DCS remote if that's how you choose to run your locomotive. Keep in mind, you can't use the DCS remote and the Bluetooth app at the same time. You have to kind of pick one or the other because sometimes they don't like talking back and forth. So keep whatever you choose to use it with, either the app or the remote. Make sure the other one is off, because they don't communicate well if you've got 2 different systems trying to talk to it at the same time. Now, I already have this engine in my remote, but I'm going to show you how to add it to yours. You add it exactly the same way with a slight difference as you do any Protosound 2 or 3 engine. On your remote, you go to Menu, then you scroll down, System. You have Engine Setup, so you go to Engine Setup. It says Add, Edit, or Delete. We want to add, so we hit Add. Now here they give you a choice. You usually pick MTH engine. We scroll down to where it says Add TMCC engine, and then push it in. Now I already have this in my remote, so I don't want to try and confuse it. It's very simple. You just click it in, and it's going to ask you to name it. I name all of my engines based on their cab number. However you choose, you could name it whatever you want. It's your baby. So I already have this in my remote as engine 8618, which is the Strasbourg engine. So we go to there, and that shows that it is currently address number 4 on my remote. It may very well be, and probably will be, different on yours. So it's already entered. So from there, all you do is hit Startup, like you do any other MTH engine. And it's going through the startup sequence, just like Protosound. If you hit your bell, or you want to toot your horn, you can hit your direction button. We're going to go in reverse. And there she goes. Then we hit direction again. You see the headlight come on. So now she's in forward. So you scroll up. And there she goes. Hit your direction, and you'll see the backup light go on. Now we're in forward. Now this locomotive has operating couplers on the front and the rear. If your MTH locomotive is similar, you have either front coupler or rear coupler. This will also operate the TMCC. So if you hit the rear coupler, there she goes. So you can trip the coupler. Then you hit your direction button if you want to go back and pick up your train. And there we go. Very simple and easy to run. right now I'm currently using the DCS remote in order to run the train. We hit the horn. Now I'm going to hit the direction button just to show how much Lionel has actually improved their smoke units quite a bit. For a small little switcher engine, this thing really does smoke. It looks really great, and Lionel's just been coming out with some real great quality products. So I tip my hat to them on this engine. It's a great looking little switcher and a very valuable part of my layout. And then since we are in reverse mode, we just scroll up like we do with the regular engine, Proto Sound 2 or 3. We hit the direction, can hit the horn, we can hit the bell, we're going to back her up, and then just like you do with any other MTH engine, you simply hit shutdown.
Tower, go to the register room to sign out. Out.
Now, one thing I did notice when you're running this engine, Legacy or TMCC, this screen will pop up here. You can't really change the screen like you can with some of the MTH, but that's okay. If you are running your train with DCS, you'll try to figure out how to shut it off, because if you hit the on-off button on your remote, it will not shut off with this on the screen. So all you have to do is simply just hit engine just to get out of that screen, and then hit your on-off power, powering down, and she shut off. One thing I did want to show before I ended the running part of the video is this particular scene. This is where I had the sawmill and log loader. I'm redoing the whole scene. This is where I am right now. It's not finished yet. Before, all it basically had was just grass in front of it, and the logs would just kind of empty into the grass, which was kind of silly. So I decided to make some changes to the scene. Right back in here, you can see a little piece of paved road coming off of Main Street into the area. Over here we have the sawmill. Over here is the log loader. I just have a little hill with a clump of trees right in here. And here's a loaded stake truck with the logs already on it. Now I'm waiting for them to come in. I ordered 2 other tractor trailers with a stake truck kind of thing. What I'm going to do is position one here and position another one here, so when the man goes up and down over here with the boards, he loads it into the back of a trailer. And the same thing over here. When the log loader guy goes up with the log and dumps it, he's going to dump it in the back of a tractor trailer. So the scene isn't quite done yet. I also have some workers and some scenery things I'm going to add to spruce it up here and there. So it's not done, but this is where we are. And then if you notice right down as we pan down a little bit, right over in here, there's a little gate that you can enter, as well as from Main Street. So this is a little bit of a change. I'll show everybody once it's all finished. But I'm all for change and trying to make things look a little bit better on the layout. There's a couple more things I want to do. I'm very happy with it the way it is, but it was time for a change. Thanks for watching today's video. It's a lot of fun to do. They all are. This video was a direct response to a poll I took some time ago on my YouTube channel, where people wanted to see tutorials, product reviews, and YouTube Shorts. The YouTube Shorts are already on my channel. If you haven't been there, check a couple of them out. In a couple weeks I am going to do a product review. And today we did the Lionel TMCC / Legacy hookup with DCS and how we did it. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. As usual, if you like what you saw, please give a thumbs up. I appreciate all the support. I wouldn't have the success I do with the channel if it wasn't for all of you guys, so thank you very much. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe, hit the bell notification button, and feel free to leave a comment or a question. I respond to all of them. I figure if you've got the time to watch my video, I've got the time to maybe answer your question or give you a thought or two. So I do thank everybody for their support. Everybody take care, be safe.